this is an early bird project that we started in September. So what I'm gonna talk, it's not about results, because we have started recently, but more about what are the plans for the project. And the idea that we have is we are trying to change the business paradigm, and I will try to convince you how. Before we start, just to mention the partners that involved. So in Stockholm we have Ericsson, KTH, SIX, and also iFlu, which is an SME that will start working with us in January. Then in Helsinki we have Aalto University, Bitium, that was called Electrobit until a few months ago, Tampere University, and another branch of Ericsson as well there. And then in Milan we have engineering and an SME called QNCIS connected to them, and Politecnico Milan together with another SME called Logic. The motivation for this project is that what we see, and we have seen also today several examples of that, is that currently you have an idea about IoT, whether it's a utility or healthcare or transport, anything you can think about. And what is happening is that they go all the way down from the application towards the middleware and the cloud and the connectivity, all in one, what we call it vertical, like a silos. You build the whole system just for your idea. And if the idea change or it becomes a bit different, you need to do everything again. And what you do is try to solve a specific problem that you have now, but what about the future? So what we are trying to change here is that, like, trying to go from this vertical, or we call it how do you call it, stovepipes. We try to go horizontal instead. We try to say that all these different applications, like utility, healthcare, transportation, and so on, can all be connected to the same platform through different APIs. And this platform will have, of course, different technologies to be connected, whether it will be cellular connection or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or I don't know, others like Zigbee and so on. But they can all talk at a certain point the same language and be managed at the same way. So the goal of the project is actually to try to accelerate this, because we saw that if we offer the possibility to have a common platform, then even as a small startup can implement this and connect his small idea to the bigger platform. I mean, currently, it's quite difficult that you have an idea and you need to construct the whole value chain to try to sell the idea. But if you have already a platform with some APIs, easy to be connected, perhaps you can focus on your idea and use the common platform for that. I mean, it's similar what happened to, for example, iPhone. Before, if you wanted to have an application for a phone, you need to know all the layers, how the phone works. But when iPhone came, you basically they tell you how to connect with the APIs, and there was an explosion of applications and applications you could not even think about that before. So now I'm going to show some of the applications we are working on. For example, one is the wearable that you can think about for sport or monitoring a patient in hospital and so on. There is already something available, but the thing is that, again, the companies who made this kind of wearables before, they were trying to construct the whole system. What we are trying to say is that perhaps this wearable connected to a smartphone can be connected to that platform. You don't need to use a new one. And the same for health monitor application. Here there is an example from Bitium where you can have the wearable and the smartphone connected in case, for example, there are workers in dangerous fields. They can be real-time monitored. And so there is a kind of device management and data processing that can alert the company or anybody else who could monitor them while they are on field. Again, it's another application that doesn't need a new platform. We can use the same one. This is another example where engineering is working on that, is the rollator, they call it. Basically, you see people who have problems in walking can use this rollator. It will be equipped with sensors that could monitor if the person is walking well, or if he's about to fall, and could actually save sometimes the person, can adjust the rollator. And also if it's a member of your family, perhaps through the platform you could get an alert if something happened to him. If it's whether if it's indoor or outdoor, you can still have this kind of information available. Also, when it comes to smart building, there is a lot of work going on for that, and we are focusing on the occupancy. Basically, if you deploy several sensors in a building, you could understand whether a person is in a room or not. And based on this information, you could decrease the heating system and save energy. You could switch off the lights. You can control how many available seats there are in a room and so on. And all these things can be connected again to the same platform. You don't need to build a new one. Of course, when it comes to deploying all this huge amount of sensor, you might need to deploy several gateways, and then you need a management system that controls the different gateways in the different part of the building. And perhaps you can also use some kind of mesh communication between gateways to save some amount of overhead towards the network. When it comes to transport, you would like to monitor real time the transportation of goods into the cities. And this, you could do it with a gateway on each truck. And then the gateway could report real time the information in the same platform. Especially, for example, here is a picture from Italy where in the big cities, because of the pollution, sometimes you're not allowed to get into the city every day. So, or at least not on the same part of the city is open. And on top of that, of course, there is traffic and so on. So with this system, you could monitor real time and find the best routes. When it comes to avionics, we would like to have sensors on, for example, helicopters, and you could have a gateway in the helicopter that collects all the data, similar to like a black box, and the information can be sent through cellular network when you have coverage, or you could think about satellite connection when you don't have cellular, or you can save and store the information still in the helicopter and offload them when you reach the ground. All in all this application can be connected to this platform that you could see. You have different kind of connectivity options. So whether it's cellulars, go directly, or can be Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. You can have some kind of capillary gateway there. But no matter how the information is collected at that level, they are all reported to the same middleware. And this middleware, of course, will have to offer privacy and security end-to-end. And of course, you could have some kind of application where you can monitor the results of your data. So what we are trying to say, and this is basically the last slide, is that all the application that I show you, and maybe many more in the coming years, can be connected together. it can be managed together in just one platform. So just concluding is that all this IoT can be managed the same way, and standard protocols and functionalities can enable this. So like once we open it, perhaps more and new ideas can come from that. That's about it.